What's up, Jackie Chans? It's the Cause, it's Midnight Lights Gaming, and this is my ultimate Kuroki how to spare guide, everything you need to know to be able to spare Kuroki easily every time. Let's get into it. Alright, next is our how to spare Kuroki guide. This is everything you need to know how to spare any boss, but in particular I'm going to give you specific strategies that will help you spare Kuroki every time, no problem. And like I said, these can be used for every boss. Some of these tips are going to help you no matter what. So just keep that in mind. But let's start by saying, like, okay, how do you even spare one of these bosses? So the way you spare a boss is to break their structure twice without knocking them out or draining all of their damage. So you're trying to fill that top bar up twice without draining all of the second bar below. Structure damage on top, damage, or life damage on the bottom. And the first time you break their structure, it'll see if you want to press triangle and circle, but you don't want to do that, so don't press it. They'll recover, and then you just go through the same thing where you try and break their structure a second time, and when you do, the option to spare them will show up, which is left on the D-pad for PS5. When you're working towards sparing Kuroki or any boss, it's okay if you die a lot, and let me tell you why. There are two things that permanently save that make it okay for you to die a lot while trying to pursue sparing a boss. The number one thing is the youngest age at which you beat a boss and move to the next hideout. So even if you beat one hideout at 23 and then you go back to try and beat that boss by sparing them, and you do that at 70, it's okay. The next time you go into that hideout, it's going to be the youngest age that saves. The other thing that permanently saves is the fact that you spared the boss. So if you spare a boss at 70, you only have to do that once in one play, and like playing out the game in its entirety one time, and it'll save. So you can die a lot, spare them at 70, that's fine. You'll still go into the next hideout at your youngest age, and it'll save that you spared that boss. So all you have to do is spare each boss once at any age, and you'll be just fine. So now the question is, okay, so what breaks their structure? What does structure damage? And that's really important because we want to break their structure without draining all of their life. So the number one thing, or the first thing, is damage. So any damage you do is going to drain their life and help break their structure. Also, if you hit them while they're blocking, it doesn't drain their life but does do structure damage. Parrying is when you hit L1 at just the right time, and we'll go over that to parry them. And then some moves can be perfect parried or deflected, and her dart attack can do that, and I'll go over that too. And that's the primo thing you can do to break structure. So that's why you want to dart deflect for the win, or basically you want to deflect her dart move at just the right time, and that's also like a perfect parry in a lot of other games, and it'll do a ton of structure damage without draining her life. So again, you're looking for that flash. As soon as you see it, you're hitting L1, and it'll perfect parry that dart move and do a ton of structure damage without doing any damage to her life. So look for that flash and hit L1. Now, parrying, I don't do a lot against Kuroki, but I'm going to include it in here because it's absolutely essential to sparing most bosses. So this is still hitting L1 right when the attack lands. It's just that not all moves can be perfect parried. So you still want to aim sometimes to try and hit L1 at just the right time, and it'll do damage structure but not damage to their life. The other thing that's really helpful is focusing on light combos or square on PlayStation 5 and not triangle, because it will do damage to their structure but not a ton of damage to their life. So one tip I have for Kuroki, I found that what helped me a lot was not catching every single blade and throwing it back at her, because it did a lot of damage without impacting her structure. So what I tried to do is not catch and throw every blade, but avoid some blade throws and deflect that dart move, and that was more than enough to be able to break her structure twice. Alright, well, that's everything you need to know about how to spare Kuroki. I hope you enjoyed that, and we're going to move on to the next part of the video. Alright, for all my how to spare videos, I do some commentary for the phase 2 where I go through the process of sparing a boss. So let's do that with Kuroki. You would see I was like kind of fortunate enough to have my bat last through this second phase, which is nice because it means the blades don't do damage, but it doesn't last a super long time. But you can see that my goal here, you know, and I did some structure damage, but you kind of have to keep up your attacks on her or she'll regain that structure, which I'm not doing a great job here in the beginning. But all of those are square attacks, so that's me pressing light attack, and those I find are really helpful because it doesn't do a ton of damage, but does do good structure damage. So that was a dart move. That was your bread and butter. That's where you can avoid. The best thing to do is perfect parry it. I didn't even perfect parry it that time, or deflect is what they call it in this game. But even if you avoid that dart move, it'll give you an opportunity to land quite a few light attacks, just like there. So I got 3 little light attacks in there that keep up the structure damage. Again, just press L1 and over as soon as I see that light flash. So I'm having kind of a hard time keeping her structure damage up here. I'm trying not to catch and throw every blade back at her. That was a perfect parry, and that did a bunch of deflection breaking damage. So see if I can do it again. Yep, so those perfect parries, I mean, those do, I'm at almost a quarter of her structure just off of 2 of those. So really good to try and do that. And then the damage just really complements it. You can see I use focus to keep a combo going. And here we are. I mean, that's like almost 3/4 just after 2 perfect parries and a combo, focus damage, and more combo. So I am catching some blades here, which I don't always recommend because it does do quite a bit. Those do damage. So I'm trying to dodge some of them. And so we're almost have broken her structure, and she's got a little less than half of the life left. So a lot of that is just doing the damage. And there was another perfect parry, deflection. Just again, just hitting L1 as soon as you see that light flash. And so between those 3 perfect parries and really just doing damage, I mean, I caught blades and threw it at her and everything. Being able to perfect parry those dart moves just goes a really long way. So she got about a quarter of her life, and I have to break her structure one more time. So all of those avoids don't do anything for structure, but all of those little light attacks right there did. That's my favorite way to break up that combo, is when she's running at you, just throw one of her own blades at her.
This is where you die.
Alright, perfect parried. Well, a dart move, and she's about to break. I'm about to break her structure with maybe 1/8 of her life left. Oh, she got me on that one. I'm very lucky I didn't die. I used focus to finish it, and then you saw the spare prompt come up. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you a chance to see just how important perfect parrying or deflecting that dart move is. Just hitting L1 when that light flash happens is really the difference maker in sparing Kuroki. But other than that, it's just trying to use square to do the damage that you can, using focus to extend your combos to do even more damage, because one of the worst things you can do is do all of that damage and then she has time to recover her structure. So good to pile it on. I hope that really helped. That is my ultimate Kuroki how to spare guide. I'll put some links to some other playlists and videos to help you with other bosses, but I really hope these how to spare guides help. If you have any feedback, comments, thoughts, please go ahead and put them in the comments section. And also remember, as soon as I get to 1,000 subscribers and start making even a dime off of these videos, 50% of what I make is going to go to a charity of our choosing. And I really look forward to that time where we get to choose what charity we want to donate to. And even if we're donating small amounts, I think it will still be really powerful for, this subscriber community. So, yep, all the comments you want. Check out some other videos, and thanks for watching.